Chapter 5. As if no tomorrow. "Look at Sally. Red and white really aren't her colors," Lisette pointed out as she smoothed her own white cotton princess-line dress trimmed with red piping. "That's Luca's sister, Lisette. She has yet to grow into her own. I bet when she does, the gentlemen will flock to her side." I liked Sally. Father was right. These social gatherings were getting a little stuffy. My feet hurt, laced into these red leather boots. The heel was a little higher than usual, causing me to work my leg muscles harder with their awkward height. Lady Alyssa Anvil sidled up to us in a secretive manner. Her red and white striped wig towered and bobbed as she spoke. As if anyone would not see her, right? I had to hold my laughter. "Have you seen Captain Eventide tonight?" she asked in a fake English accent. I scanned the crowd for the tall military man. "Is Captain Eventide not here?" My question was filled with a strange sort of relief. The good captain was also vying for my hand in marriage. Lord Luca and Corbin Eventide both didn't like my excuses for waiting on the marriage issue or my delay in choosing a man. The two had no idea why I craved to keep my freedom for a little while longer, nor did they care to know. "No, he is chasing a winged person who entered the city illegally. Can you believe it? Why would someone want to come here, and in such a mysterious way?" Alyssa made a weird sound. It took me a moment to realize she was giggling. I'm sure he will capture the interloper." I tried to sound serious for her benefit. I loved that word, interloper, how it rolled off my lips. "I am disappointed the justices haven't appeared. Lord Chevron assured me that they would come tonight. Sort of the main attraction, don't you think?" Lady Anvil sniffed. "Justices? There are lawmen in the city? Where are they?" Lisette's loud words caused nearby guests to stare. "Yes, I have no idea who they're after or why they're here. I was hoping you might have heard something from your father." Lady Anvil raised a gloved hand decorated with gaudy, bejeweled bracelets to halt our questions. Her features shaped in a disappointed pout at my negative headshake. Not that I would share any information from my father with anyone, much less this lady. "Justices chase down and kill Congen. Why would my father know the reason they are here?" I stated. "Capture." My eyebrows raised at the lady's correction. "Capture, not kill. And only half of the Congen are eradicated." Eradicated. It sounds so final. "Rumor has it a lord was the person who called them here. I assumed it was your father, as he would know what a Congen looks like. Ta-ta, girls." The lady sauntered off to spread more gossip and rumor. "What does one look like? Would they stand out in this crowd?" Lisette asked. But Lady Anvil had already disappeared into the red and white crowd. I shrugged to no one special. Today had been informative, even from one such as the Lady Anvil. I learned I might be ignorant of a great many things. I had the sinking feeling my education on things I had no business understanding, nor did I want that knowledge might be coming forthwith. On the good side of that thought, all my questions would be answered. But at what price? I already knew there's always a price. "I would love to see a justice," Lisette declared in a dreamy voice as she scanned the crowd for a justice. "You have no idea what a justice looks like. I heard they wear black frock coats. They would stand out in this room, don't you think?" I searched the hall decked out in, yep, you guessed it, red and white. The orchestra was wonderful as usual, but they needed some new music, or at least swap the sessions around. I say, spice it up a little. People were snoring on the sidelines of the dance floor. Lisette was in heaven. Lord Luca Reynard Skinner, the heir to the transportation empire and Sally's older brother, pulled her onto the polished dance floor. Protocol said Luca would ask me to dance next. Luca was the perfect suitor. He always asked Lisette to dance first. Then he would ask me. This way he wouldn't cause any raised eyebrows when he kept on dancing with the two of us all night. Was this all there was for me? Right on cue. "Lady Corbeau, may I have the honor of dancing with you?" Luca looked so neat and clean in his red shirt and white suit with tails. He took my gloved hand and kissed my knuckles. I spread out my red and white fan. I cooled myself as if I were blushing. Why, Lord Skinner, you may have the honor. The games we play. We floated onto the dance floor amid the talk and stares of the other guests. His arms held me tight as he led us around the parquet floor. How polished a gentleman he was. Flawless. Again, was this all I had to look forward to? Lord Skinner did have a pleasing face. Luca was just a little taller than me, his body warm and muscled beneath my fingers. He smelled clean and slightly floral. We grew up together, friends. Could I learn to love him? Learn the passion of my parents after we wed? Not seeing it. When can I approach your father about setting the date for our wedding? His deep voice caressed my cheek. I sighed. Soon. I spoke hesitantly. I was too young to get married. I wanted... What? There was something I wanted to accomplish. Or was it that I wanted to be something? Anything? Whisper. You always say soon. I want you for my wife. To begin our life together. Luca held my head back with a gentle hand. His blue eyes stared into mine. Sometimes I wished I could be like Lisette and swoon into his gaze. Not today. I dropped my lids first. He would make a good husband. He was attentive, intelligent, and had killer looks. Not a hair of his neatly trimmed blonde locks out of place. He professed to love me. I had yet to claim the same. I enjoyed his company and we had fun together. Love would grow in time. Like I said, flawless. Except I was flawed, my hand and my yearning for something else, something nameless yet so desired. Luca, I am not ready for marriage. Father has years left in his tower before we can take it over as ours. We have time, Luca. You will be mine, Whisper. I will suffer you no other man. Was he just being overly dramatic and romantic? His words made me shiver. Or was the cause a slight breeze flooding the dance floor? Nope, his words sounded ominous. His hand held my elbow tight as he escorted me off the ballroom floor. Lisette was there on the sidelines waiting for her turn with the Lord. I wished I could walk away from our agreement of future marriage. Our betrothal wasn't in writing, just a binding handshake between families. My father would allow me the luxury of choosing a husband if I wasn't content with Luca as a spouse. Main fact was, I couldn't hurt Luca. Not to mention the problems our broken betrothal would cause between Luca and his father. Ouch! Let's face it. Who else would I marry? No sons anywhere near my age. Older or younger. Luca left my side to dance again with Lisette without consent. I wandered onto the darkened terrace of Lord Chevron's tower. Wicker chairs and sofas were arranged in strategic places. The aroma of food on a nearby buffet table dwindled in the gust of gentle autumn wind caressing the balcony. The air smelled of rain. My dress fluttered against my body. I shivered not with cold but with expectation. I glanced to the other white marbled bridges connected to the other towers. Hurricane lamps, shielded from the weather by stone and mortar, lit the way. Out of the corner of my eye, I spied someone in the darkness. I stared. Hello? My voice sounded weak, even to my ears. I took a step toward the spot. Did I blink? The shadow was gone. Had I too much to drink? None. I know I saw something move in the darkness, and the form wasn't wearing red and white, visible colors in the dark. Was it a justice? And how would I know? I leaned on the steel railing. The gas lamps glowed orange circles far below on the smog-hidden streets of the city. The intruder? I saw nothing disturbing the haze to show a person using a winged to escape off the balcony. Was the shadow a guest? Clothing would say no. A client of Lord Chevron? Everyone was to be at this party, except Father. Oh, and the justices. Captain Eventide was busy. So really the shadow could have been almost anyone, or someone like myself who needed fresh air, a fresh perspective. I was chasing shadows for excitement. What else was there for me? Was I so jaded and bored, so starved for something to happen and change the stagnant life of being a lady? If only I had the courage to abandon the trappings of our government as my parents chose to do. I already took the first step in working at the steel factory. Why couldn't I? I had no answers but thousands of questions on my behavior and choices. Lisette rambled on and on during our ride home on Lord Chevron's small airship named Revelry. The Revelry ferried guests to and from the parties at the fourth tower, like we couldn't walk along the bridges. He enjoyed bragging about the new toys he bought and making guests take them for a test drive. Another proof life here was wrong and corrupt. I heard nothing of Lisette's complaints, so wrapped up in my own woes. The fashionable balls, outings, and tours blended into the same old things. Nothing changed. Bryn City was becoming stagnant, hypocritical. We all needed a change. We needed something. Marriage? No matter how hard Luca pushed, I knew that wasn't the answer. The steel factory and the raw materials division? Yeah, I was ready to take the reins of the Lord's seat. Except Father was still in the seat, and God willing had plenty of years yet in that position. A few things were different. Changing. Father had asked me several times during the last 2 weeks if I still wanted to honor the betrothal between Luca and myself. The betrothal had been arranged by the Lord Skinner and my father after the same Lord rescued me from the crash. Or whatever. The more I remembered Father's face when he asked these kinds of questions, the more I worried. He seemed on edge lately, like something was wrong. It wasn't the factory or the inventory, I would have seen the numbers. Something personal? Someone? And what would it have to do with my marriage to Luca? Why wouldn't Father want me to wed Lord Skinner? I wanted to ask him, but his study doors were closed. No one bothered him when the doors were shut, not even me. Good night. Did she see me? The justice thought. He moved to watch the young woman. No time for that, he admonished. With regret, he disappeared into the dark.